Ladies and gentlemen, bikers, dreamers, and seekers of pure adrenaline, let me take you into a world where the road is not just asphalt, not just a strip of black beneath your wheels, but a canvas on which your passion, your power, and your freedom are painted with every twist of the throttle. Let me take you into the world of the Hyosung Comet 650, a machine that doesn't just carry you forward but commands the road with authority, with presence, with an attitude that shouts louder than words ever could. Close your eyes for a second and picture this. The sun setting low, the horizon blazing orange, the hum of a twin-cylinder engine ready to pounce, and in your hands, a beast that weighs in with raw muscle, yet dances with agility. The Comet 650 isn't just a motorcycle, it is a statement. A declaration that you don't settle for the ordinary, that you demand performance, power, and personality in one unmistakable package. When Hyosung built the Comet 650, they weren't building for the faint of heart. They weren't building for someone who wants a casual cruise from point A to point B. No, they were building for the rider who craves that rush in the chest, that thunder in the ears, and that undeniable connection between man, machine, and the wide-open road. This bike is powered by a 647cc V-twin engine. Listen to that again. Not a parallel twin, but a V-twin. That roars with authority, pushing out around 72 horses of pure, unapologetic strength. Each rev feels like a war cry. Each gear shift feels like loading another round into the chamber of a cannon. And once you roll that throttle open, the road doesn't just open up, it kneels. But power without control is chaos, and Hyosung knew that. The Comet 650 was engineered not just to give you speed but to give you mastery. Its lightweight frame, its sporty geometry, its carefully tuned suspension, all of it combines to give you something rare: confidence. Confidence that you can lean harder, push faster, brake later. Confidence that when you ride, you are not wrestling with a beast but commanding one. This is the kind of control that makes the difference between being a passenger on your own motorcycle and being the conductor of a symphony of speed. And here's what makes the Comet so fascinating: it is the underdog. It's the challenger. For years the motorcycle world has been dominated by the big names, the usual suspects, the predictable lineup of machines that carry heavy price tags and heavier reputations. But Hyosung stepped in with the Comet 650 and said, why should raw power, twin-cylinder performance, aggressive street fighter design, and uncompromising road presence belong only to those who can empty their bank accounts? Why can't the thrill of a 650cc machine be accessible, attainable, and still dripping with character? That's exactly where the Comet hits hardest. Because when you look at the price tag, when you see what it delivers compared to what it costs, you realize, you're not just buying a bike, you're buying rebellion. Let me put it plain. The Hyosung Comet 650 has always been one of the most affordable ways into the world of big bike riding. While its rivals ask you to pay a fortune for their badges, this machine gives you the real deal, a true middleweight powerhouse, without the inflated cost. That means more riders get to feel what it's like to straddle a machine that can hit highway speeds in a blink. More riders get to feel that V-twin heartbeat thundering through their chest. More riders get to experience the lifestyle of big bike freedom without waiting years to save. This is accessibility wrapped in attitude. But here's where things get interesting. The Comet 650 hides some secrets. Look closely at its design, its build, its soul, and you'll see features that don't just jump out in the brochure. Its steel trellis frame, reminiscent of Italian exotica, gives it a rigid backbone that rewards aggressive cornering. Its riding position, slightly leaned forward but never punishing, balances sport and comfort so that long rides don't break your back and short sprints feel like track sessions. And that exhaust note, that deep, throaty growl, isn't just engineered, it's felt. Every time you ride past a crowd, heads turn, not because of a fancy logo on your tank, but because the bike itself demands attention with its voice. Even in the details, Hyosung refused to compromise. Twin front disc brakes mean when it's time to stop, you stop with authority. The instrument cluster, simple yet effective, keeps you focused on the ride instead of distracting you with gimmicks. The fuel tank, muscular and sculpted, not only adds to the aggressive stance but also gives you the range to stretch your adventures further. And then there's the ergonomics. The way your knees tuck in, the way the handlebars feel natural in your grip, the way the bike almost becomes an extension of your body. It's as if the designers knew this machine wasn't going to be a commuter mule but a rider's weapon of choice. Now, let's talk legacy. Because some people, when they hear Hyosung, they think of a lesser-known brand, a challenger from Korea stepping into a battlefield dominated by Japanese giants and European legends. And you know what? That's exactly the point. The Comet 650 doesn't hide from the fact that it's different, it embraces it. It embraces the role of the disruptor. Every rider who chooses this machine chooses not to follow the crowd, not to chase brand hype, but to carve their own identity on the road. That takes guts, and that's why the Comet has built a cult following across markets where riders discovered its true nature: raw, honest, powerful, and unpretentious. Picture yourself riding one. You're at a signal, waiting, and a row of bikes pulls up next to you. Some have the badges, some have the fancy paint, some have the price tags. But when that light turns green and you roll open the throttle, the Comet 650 doesn't just keep up. It surges ahead with a grin, leaving no doubt that what you're riding is not just a motorcycle, but a statement. Because performance is performance, and no marketing campaign in the world can fake the rush you feel when the bike beneath you delivers. The Hyosung Comet 650 is a reminder that passion isn't reserved for the privileged. It's proof that performance doesn't have to come with a premium that prices you out. It's the underdog that comes swinging, the fighter that refuses to bow down, the machine that gives you every ounce of thrill you crave and does it while staring down the giants of the industry. This bike isn't here to whisper. It's here to roar.